Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here this morning, and it is Casing Tuesday. And that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog, a sample card, and we give it a makeover. And I love it because it's a day when you can all join us and join me and my fellow bloggers, and you can do a card as well. And we have a Facebook group for that, so if you're not part of it already, make sure you join it below. Just click on, I think it's see more below under in the description of the video, and you can join our group and see what cards everyone is, how their makeovers look compared to mine, because most of the time, and I'm not saying 100% of the time, all of our cards look completely different. So it's neat how we can all take a starting point and then create something different with it. So I have to tell you a funny story. So this morning I had a lot of things to do, and I was telling my husband today, I am so distracted by my family being here, because usually I work at home alone. So I've been used to, working by myself for a long time, and when I have my family here, I want to take care of them. And so I've been baking, my son gets up later in the morning when he goes to have breakfast. I go sit with him for a while. So all these things are distracting me during the day. And today I said, I have a lot of stuff to do today, to my husband. And he's like, okay, I'll not, interrupt you at all. But our offices are actually side by side, and they are separated by a door. We have a door in between our offices, and it is so distracting when he's on a call, and I'm sure it's very distracting when I'm doing a live or on a call myself. And so if you look over my shoulder, this shoulder right here, you will see a mattress and 3 pillows on top. Yes, I did it. We have a guest bedroom with a single mattress in it. And this morning I was trying to get work done, and all I could hear was my husband on a phone call, and I was like, I need to get work done. And so I know I should have just kept blasting through it, but I was like, I wonder what I could do to baffle that sound. I've been thinking about it for a month, and then I'm like, I wonder if that single mattress would fit in there. And so I measured the space, and I measured the mattress, and I'm like, yeah, I think it will fit. So yeah, I took everything off. You know how guest bedrooms are, sometimes they're clutter zones, and I took all the stuff off of the mattress, and I hauled it down the hall, and I put it up against the door, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it like fits like perfectly. There was just a little headroom up top, so I stuffed 3 pillows up there. And lo and behold, I can still hear him, but I can't hear what he's saying. So it's awesome. And I hope it's the same way for him, that he can't hear me anymore either. Because I tell you, just having that sound disruption not there is just like making me so, so happy. So hopefully, I know this might go on for a while. My husband has said he's going to try and work from home as long as he can. And so I want to make sure that we can both work at home happily. Anyway, that's just a little story that I can tell you. So if you're at home working with other people, and there's a way, maybe you have some stuff in the house that can make it better for you. Just think outside the box. I hauled the mattress down the hall and plugged up the sound hole, and now it works. So anyway, that just makes me happy. Good morning, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I know you didn't want to just hear me talk about myself this morning, and we do have a card to get to. So let me just, I was so organized this morning. I had everything in place. And then did I pull up the cards for today? No, I am just going to grab those right now for you so you can see them. Number 250. Can you believe we are on 250? So, whoa, that is super duper small. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Normally they come in bigger. Okay, so this is the card that we are copying today. There looks like there's a lot of distractions going on, but I want you to focus on three things, maybe four things. Okay, we have a card base. We have two rectangles. You can see the first rectangle is the green rectangle, and then there's a little kind of square behind it. Now, if you're using the rectangle framelets, you might wonder, how do I get that square behind there? Well, it's really easy. You take a rectangle and you cut it down the center, and then you can put it behind that green rectangle, and that way you don't need a different die set. You don't need a square die set. You can just cut it in the center and then patch it back together in the middle behind that green rectangle. Make sure you have it a little long enough, and then you can create that look if you want to. Now let me show you the sketch, and it will make things a whole lot clearer for you. I just need to pull that up. Sorry guys, I'm like always so ready to go, and then I forget to get one little thing. Okay, this one right here. Okay, so here is the sketch. So like I was saying, there is that big rectangle, the square behind it, and then you can have a little banner where you put, or a little rectangle where you can put a greeting on. So those are kind of the main components of the sketch. It's not a scary sketch at all. It's actually a really useful, wonderful sketch. So I hope you will give it a whirl later. And I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to switch my cameras now and show you what I did with my card. It's not a golf card. It is a Mother's Day card. So over here, gosh, all of a sudden it got really hot in here. Let me take off my vest. Okay, so here's my card, and isn't it beautiful? Oh, I love the Beautiful Moments stamp set. It was my first time using it yesterday, and I just loved it. I did a watercolor wash around the two, the mother and the daughter, and it's just so much fun, and these colors are so soothing and beachy, and I just loved creating this card. So let me show you the products that I use. First of all, the Beautiful Moments stamp set. Just really pretty, perfect for a feminine Mother's Day card. We've got a single woman over here. We've got kind of, it could be a mother-daughter here, and it looks here like two sisters. And I love the stamp set, but it didn't have a Mother's Day greeting in it. So I went over to my Itty Bitty Greeting stamp set, and this is a really big stamp set, but all the greetings in here are really tiny, and they're perfect for adding to a big image like this. So I found a Happy Mother's Day in here, and that's what I used. So if you're looking for an all-purpose greeting set, this is definitely one that I recommend, the Itty Bitty Greeting stamp set. All right, then I grabbed, these are called the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and they are finally available again. They were very popular, and they went on back order and not orderable for a while, but they are back in stock, so you can definitely pick those up now. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make this. Yeah, let's just start with our focal point. So what I did earlier, I took my die cut machine and I used it, used the largest Stitch So Sweetly framelit, the largest rectangle, ran it through, and I've got my image that I'm going to use. This is an e-block, and I'm going to use Stays On ink for this. Stays On is a waterproof ink. It's a black ink. And if you're doing watercoloring, you'll want something that is waterproof. So I'm just going to ink my stamp up here. Make sure I've got good coverage. And I'm not using watercolor paper here. I'm using regular thick Whisper White. So I have to be a little careful when I'm watercoloring, but you can definitely do it. So I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want these guys on here. I might have gotten a little bit further on the one side than the other side. What I did when I initially did my sample, I actually stamped this first. I'm going to lift off. I actually stamped this first and then die cut it. So if you're worried about centering, you can stamp it on a bigger piece and then die cut it. But I think I did a fairly decent job. It might be a little bit towards the right side. And I'm going to just keep this over here for a moment because I'm going to need it once more when I stamp my other image. So I'm going to be using an aqua painter. I checked this morning and these guys are all sold out. So if you don't already have an aqua painter, wait till June. And in June, we are going to have a product called water painters instead of aqua painters. And the water painters are going to come with 3 aqua brushes like this. It's great. The new ones will have 3 different tips. So there'll be a fine tip, a bigger brush tip, and then a flat brush tip. So I'm really looking forward to those. If you have aqua painters, they are wonderful. They are a wonderful product for watercoloring because you don't have to dip your pen into water. There's water already in the barrel. So that's a lot of fun. So I love to use our inks to watercolor with. And so I'm going to take my Pool Party, and you can squeeze the lid and get some ink on the lid, but I always buy the ink refills. So I'll take some Pool Party ink and I just kind of add some Pool Party to the lid. And I'm going to start off with Pool Party because it's my biggest color. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of water into here. Not a lot because I want to go fairly dark. And I'm going to start dark down here at the bottom and work my way up. And yes, this is going to be like a kind of a messy watercolor and it's going to be blotchy, but guess what? It looks really good at the end. So don't worry about if it looks kind of wonky and splotchy. Oh, it looks so good. Even if it, start down here at the bottom, come back up. Even if it looks a little blotchy, I am outlining the girl and the mother, and I'm not going all the way to the edges. Okay, let me get a little darker and I'll start down here. If you start a little darker on the bottom, it kind of looks like there's water moving up towards sky. And then I am not like an artist in terms of like I cannot draw like I didn't start my background from an art background. So everything I do is kind of just trial and error. And I love that because stamping allows you to be an artist without having an art background. So I think I really like the way that looks. It's got kind of a blotchy, splotchy Pool Party look, but just wait until I add the other colors. So that's Pool Party. Now I'm going to switch over to Soft Seafoam. And again, I've got my re-inker. So I always buy a re-inker when I buy an ink pad. That way, if it goes a little dry on me, I always have the color and I can re-ink it right away. And it's less painful to buy the ink refill with the ink pad. I'd rather have less ink pads plus an ink refill than have a ton of them without ink refills. That's just me though. I have a little tissue here on the side and I'm just kind of pushing some water through to clear off all the Pool Party. And then I'm going to grab some of this Soft Seafoam and I'm just going to come along here and hit the bottom of this right up into the feet and just kind of blending in to the blue a little bit to the Pool Party. Okay, so that is the extent of my green. Very simple. And then I'm going to bring in, let's do Petal Pink next. I'm going to use Petal Pink for skin color. You can use different colors for this. This is a Mother's Day card for my mom. So we have a fair complexion, so Petal Pink works well. We're both, well, you might look at me and say, hey, she's not a blonde, but when I was a little girl, my hair was like really blonde. I think it was partly sun bleach. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this petal pink and I'm going to run it on the legs, the bare legs. And so, you know, you make your card. If you're making this card, make it, use the skin tone that you need for the card. I need like a light skin color, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, and a little bit on the face too. There. And then to emulate blondish hair, my son says, "You don't have blonde hair." I'm like, "Yes, I do," because of when I was little, but I still think of myself as blonde. It's a very dirty blonde, but it is what it is. And then I'll just kind of brush over some of the So Saffron ink onto the hair. Just keep it easy peasy. And I was debating whether or not to color the dresses a different color. You definitely can do that, but I like the look. This is a soft muted card. I love the look of like a white linen dress. So I thought, why not keep them white? You know, and that it also saves you time when you're coloring. Okay, so that was my coloring job. Like that was pretty easy, right? And if you look at it, it's not perfect. You don't want it to look perfect. You want it to kind of look like a watercolor. So I like the lighter and darker blues, and so it just, I think it looks great. And again, I didn't color right to the edges. It's kind of like a scene, so you're just kind of keeping it right there in the center and just highlighting that image like that. Okay, I'm gonna I hear some comments popping over here. Oh, people are just saying good morning. So good morning, everyone who's joining me. Thank you for being here. All right, so now I want to take my card base, and I did a tent fold. So this is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches and scored in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. I've got a pool party piece that I also cut from the Stitch So Sweetly, yes, Stitch So Sweetly dies. This is the second largest die in that collection, okay? So I've got, this is the largest die, second largest in Pool Party, and then I cut myself also the smallest one, and I'm going to use the Happy Mother's Day on that. So I've got my Stays On ink again, and I'm going to use Stays On just because it's out here. But you could use Memento ink if you have it as well. Let me make sure this is the right side up because I refuse to put stickers on mine because I got so used to not using stickers and now I am not ready. That's a little crooked. All right, I'm going to do it again. I cut myself an extra piece. These actually look a little bit better. One side looks a little bit better than the other side, so that's why. Okay, so now I have a choice, slightly crooked or slightly more black on the one end. I'll take this one. I don't think I can deal with being crooked. Oh. All right, so that's a thing to keep in mind when you're stamping small images. If you use if you press more on one end, you are going to get a slightly darker side with your stamping. So just be careful with your touch. You might want to practice before you stamp. But you know, I can always cut myself another piece later on. Okay, so I'm going to grab some Tombow out here. And the best way I found to align this is to go ahead and Tombow down the Pool Party piece first. And I want this piece centered. So I'm just gonna center it, turn it like this. It actually helps you center it from side to side here. Now it's like a top to bottom, but kind of gets it there. And then this looks good here. Okay, and then press that down. Then I'll take my Whisper White piece and stick this on here. Yeah, and it looks pretty good. And when I like that, I'll press that down. And then for this little Happy Mother's Day piece, I'm going to grab some dimensionals and I'm going to stick 2 of them on the back just to pop this up just a little bit higher than the rest. Oh shoot! You know what I didn't do? Oh, so sad. All right, I forgot to do one critical thing that I really, really loved about this, and I'm sorry I didn't do this right. But actually this will be great because it will show you what the difference is. Okay, so you see both of these cards here. So one of them I embossed with a subtle embossing folder and one of them I didn't. So you can see right after I finished the watercoloring, I took my subtle embossing folder and I ran through my piece with the subtle embossing folder. So now this piece has like a linen type texture to it. You can kind of see it if I hold it up into the light. So this is already glued down, unfortunately. I can't run it through anymore. I maybe could peel it off, but it would be kind of a mess and my embossing folder would have glue on it and I don't want that. But it's a good comparison. So now at the end, you'll be able to see the comparison between the 2 cards. I really like the linen texture on this piece though. It makes it kind of special. So you might not like that or you might like it. So I hope you like it. Okay, so I'm peeling off the little backings off the dimensionals. And then I want to come out just a little bit beyond the pool party piece. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of plop this down right about there. And then finally, I'm going to use, these are called Basic Adhesive Back Sequins. And if I can get my Take Your Pick tool and my putty to work. I got a little putty. And then I'm going to take some of these sequins, one of them here. Come here, you. It wants to stick to my desk. And I'll put one down here. And I'm trying to decide what color. I use this color here. These are kind of iridescent sequins. And keep in mind, these little guys, they are retiring. So if you like them as an embellishment, make sure you pick them up soon because they'll be gone. Their while supplies last. Or they'll be gone at the end of June. So I'm going to put one white one up top there. So I put 3 little guys on here. These are great for those soft spring time cards that you have, and they have adhesive already on them, so they're great. You don't have to find a mini glue dot or anything. You can just go ahead and stick them on there. Okay, let me clean up my desk a little bit so you can see what I did. So you can see these 2 cards are basically identical, except this one right here has the embossing folder on the focal point. So you can see that they're both kind of the same, but I really, really like the linen because somehow it makes it kind of special. So there are my cards. What do you think? Do you like the linen look better? I don't know if I got enough of a, I don't know if I got enough light shining on there so you could see the texture on there. Sometimes it's really hard to see the in person or like on camera what everything looks like. So let me just go back and make sure there aren't any comments. Amy says she loves the watercolor look. The variations in the same ink is amazing. Yeah, like it's, you know, you go darker and as you're going up, you're lighter. And if you're kind of conscious of it, I don't know if I can get that without the reflection. Okay, I'm bending it down a little bit. But if you start off with your ink on the bottom when it's a little darker and work up light, it looks like the bottom is water and the top is sky. So it has this natural kind of progression from dark to light if that's how you're coloring upwards. So just kind of easy and fun. And Catherine says she loves today's project. Well, I am so glad. If you guys need any supplies to make this card, make sure you go down below in the description of this video, and there's a link directly to my blog post that has a supply list. It has more photos. And if you need to contact me, that's all below too, or shoot me a comment in the comments section, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're finding creative solutions like me. At the beginning of the video, I talked about this way, my mattress and pillow combination that is baffling the noise between my office and my husband's office, because you know, we have calls where we're talking to customers and during the day, and it's just so nice not to have to hear him. I love him, but we're here now 24/7 together, and it's just really hard. So I hope you're finding creative solutions to your problems, and working around them. And I'm going to try and be more productive this week. It's so hard with family at home because you just want to take care of them and make sure they're okay. And so this natural caring instinct comes in, and it's been a little bit of a challenge for me to keep focused on work because you just want to nurture all the time. And so I need to learn to close my door and get some of my work done, and have set aside some time for my family, but not to get distracted by them. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week, and I'll be back next week with another Tuesday card. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.